They Fear Truth TV.
It's long, ain't about no trouble, but I could be. I'm just trying to.
They Fear Truth TV.
It's long, ain't about no trouble, but I could be. I'm just trying to.
They Fear Truth TV.
It's long, ain't about no trouble, but I could be. I'm just trying to.
They Fear Truth TV.
It's long, ain't about no trouble, but I could be. I'm just trying to.
They Fear Truth TV.
It's long, ain't about no trouble, but I could be. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, she was sober, her son's heart simultaneously grew colder. He started hanging out, selling bags in the projects, checking the young chicks looking for hit and run prospects. He was fat, yeah, she was sober, her son's heart simultaneously grew colder. He started hanging out, selling bags in the projects, checking the young chicks looking for hit and run prospects. He was fat.
To date, nobody has been able to show that there is a law for the average American citizen working day in and day out to pay an income tax.
But We the People Foundation for Constitutional Education put a full-page ad in the USA Today on July 7, 2000. And within the body of that ad was a $50,000 challenge for anyone that could show the law. And to me, $50,000 is a lot of money. So I went after that and did the research based on the fact that I thought, let's put this baby to bed. I'm hearing all these rumors. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'll answer these people's questions that are asking me, and then I'll win this $50,000. And, based on the research that I did throughout the year 2000 and that I'm still doing, I have not found that law. I've asked Congress, we've asked a lot of people in the IRS commissioners, helpers. They can't answer, because if they answer, the American people are going to know that this whole thing is a fraud.
There is no law that requires the average American worker in the private sector to pay a direct unapportioned tax on their labor and compensation for services. There is no law.
I really expected that, of course there's a law that you can point to in the law book, the code, that requires you to file a tax return. Of course there is. Maybe I don't know what it is right then as he was speaking to me, but sure. So naively, I agreed to go off and research it and get back to him. 3.5 months later, I was at that point where I couldn't find the statute that clearly made a person liable, at least not me and most people I know, and I had no choice in my mind except to resign.
I had to leave the IRS because I presented evidence that I had accumulated indicating that the agency was violating the law and violating people's rights. And I asked the agency for a response to my sincere concerns. And the answer I got was that they would not respond to my concerns and that they would provide me with the paperwork necessary to tender my resignation.
You can look through the statutes and look for the law that requires you to pay. And when you do that, you can't identify a law that requires the average person in America who earns a wage and works in private business to pay an income tax.
American citizens.
How are we going to run the country without the income tax? I don't know how much Dan got into it, but the Grace Commission report that Ronald Reagan put out in 1984, says that none of the money collected in income tax goes towards running the country. But the bottom line is it's not going towards running the country, so you patriotic people out there, you've been fooled. Beardsley Rummel, he was Federal Reserve Chairman back in 1946, did a speech before the American Bar Association. The title of his speech was Taxes for Revenue Are Obsolete. Within the body of this report, he says that the income taxes for redistribution of wealth. What is redistribution of wealth? What is that? That's taking from me that I've worked hard for and giving it from somebody else to some. The revenue officer, the one who levied your bank account, the one who garnished your wages or put the letter out there for that, he didn't have authority. I didn't have authority either. Some of you who are familiar with the Truth and Taxation hearings that we had in February, where I had a copy of my pocket commission, and I'm sorry I didn't bring it, but it says that I have the authority to do all this stuff, and then it has some certain codes at the bottom of them. And when you look in the Internal Revenue regulations, Those codes mean I had a non-enforceable pocket commission. I'm flipping this badge out at you, sir. You need to give me your books and records now, you know. And all that time, I thought I had some authority. I would look up and I would see my revenue officer friends, but I'd also see the ATF with their jackets on. And I'm thinking, oh, they must be getting ready to raid a really big business because they've got 15 people in here, and most of them aren't from the IRS, they're from the ATF. Why was the ATF there? They are the only ones that have enforcement authority.
Revenue Service, for the Department of Justice, and for the Senate Finance Committee for their upcoming April 11th hearing, the hearing that we were banned from. I want to know why a private, unauditable banking organization, the Federal Reserve, is in charge of the money supply, using the IRS as bouncers to strong-arm anyone who opposes the club, using unauthorized revenue agents to collect $40 million an hour in interest from hard-working Americans. I want to know why Congress doesn't print the money itself and eliminate income taxes altogether. I want to know why the IRS and the Department of Justice won't meet with us, answer our questions about the legality of the income tax, and prove us wrong so we can put this baby to bed. I want to know how the IRS can demand over 30% of my hard-earned money when God only requires 10%. I want to know why the media has blacked out coverage of all intelligent debate and discussion on the income tax while focusing on people in trouble for arguments that are not on point to the truth. I want to know why you continue to think the American people are not paying attention to this issue. As of April 3rd, 2002, CNN reported that over half the American citizens had not filed a 2001 tax return. Americans are not stupid. The sleeping giant is waking up. I want to know what Constitution the Congress and the courts are following. It certainly isn't the one in the National Archives, based on what it says and what they are doing. I want to know who in this great country is willing to stand up and prove Alan Dershowitz wrong. This guy is the Harvard law professor who says, we don't have any unalienable rights, that all our rights are subject to modification, that the government should not be chained by the Constitution because the government can do good things for people. Yeah, right, Professor.
Welcome, America. Welcome, America. Um, Today, Fair Truth TV and to Dukes and Newton Law University. I'm let you know what this law about, which is PBNBA, which you heard Miss Sherry Pale Jackson speaking on. I used to speak to her regularly a couple of years ago, so I can tell you that she's official, as you heard just then. I used to talk to her regularly. She used to be at home. I used to talk to her. Them family be out on vacations. I used to talk to her. All this, yeah. So she's official. But I'm finna inform you on IRS code where private National Banking Association, which is PBNBA, Private Bankers National Bankers Association. It tells you in Black Laws Dictionary, 5th edition, page 133, defines banking. The business of banking, as defined by law and custom, consists in the issues of notes intended to circulate as money, and defines a banker's note as a commercial instrument. I'll explain what a commercial instrument is in a minute. A commercial instrument resembling a banknote in every particular aspect, that it is given by a private banker or incorporated banking institution. It says in resemblance of money. Look at your social security card or your birth certificate and look at money and look at how the edges of that money will look like. You know how it's like a frame? look at the frame of that money and look at the frame of your birth certificate and your social security card. Look at the frame of your car title or your house title. That's what you call uh that's what you call what they mean by when they say a commercial instrument resembling a banknote in every aspect. Those are banknotes. Your social security card, your birth certificate, your house deed, your car title. This is why when you sell a car and you ain't got the title to it, the car's really it got a little value to it, but it's really worth nothing because you ain't got the title unless you go and get the title and all this right here. This is why, because it is a commercial instrument resembling a banknote. This is why the edges of it look like that frame on that money. And look at the money. You're going to see the exact same frame on the money going to be on all those what I just mentioned. And I go on. A private banker is a financial institution, incorporated banking institution, and a financial agency pursuant to 31 USC 5312 and Private Bankers National Banking Association, PBNBA. Bankers accept as promissory notes under UCC. UCC or United Nations statutes. I'm not telling y'all. I'm telling y'all that now, but that ain't what it's saying right now. But I'm letting you know what UCC is in case y'all didn't know. UCC, UCC 2-304 that states the price can be made payable in money or otherwise. IRS codes section 1-10001-14657 CCH states that Federal Reserve notes dollars are valueless. The only lawful money of the United States of America are gold and silver coins, 1 ounce, 0.999 pure gold or silver, as per Articles V111 and X of the Constitution for the United States of America. Now pay attention to this here, y'all. Bank loans, contractors, or lender promissory notes requiring legal money that is not true money, such as bank checks, cash, checks, money orders, attorney checks, bank transfers, wire transfers, Federal Reserve promissory note dollars, cashier checks, and certified checks from a bank attorney or a escrow company or a legal pursuant to Title 31 USC 5118D2, 31 USC 8, 463, and Public Law 97-258, September 13, 1982. These are active laws. And I'm also going to read you Article 10 of the United States Constitution that tells you the same thing. Contracts requiring legal money such as cash, checks, money orders, bank transfers, wire transfers, and Federal Reserve notes, dollars of value is unlawful by Title 31 U.S.C. Okay, all debts today are discharged by promises to pay in the future. All Federal Reserve notes, dollars, are registered securities and a promise to pay in the future. FRNs are secured by the utility of a live man's energy or labor. It takes energy for you to breathe. Labor when you go out and do work. I'm going to read that again. All debts today are discharged by promises to pay in the future. All Federal Reserve notes, dollars, are registered securities and promise to pay in the future. FRNs are secured by the utility of a live man's energy or labor. Meaning, I'm going to go deeper into this here in the process, but y'all just remember that right there. When quoting UCC statutes, the courts require them to be quoted with state or federal statute designations. UCC codes are United Nations statutes, but are codified in every local jurisdiction. Solemn versus Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, 53 MD APP 28, 1982, 452A, AD 1283. That's a court case that I'm giving y'all. That's in this law, what I'm reading to y'all. In accordance with 31 USC 5103 and 18 USC 8, such note instruments are national bank currencies. So this means that your title, your birth certificate, your social security card, all those are national bank currency, and thereby coin or currency of the United States by statutory definition, and can be issued by private bankers who are banking members of the Banking Private Bankers National Banking Association and are the equivalent of money as per 12 USC 1813 and must be accepted by all banks and financial institutions as payoff, set off, discharge, and full settlement of all debts and loans. So what that basically means, what that basically is telling y'all that all Federal Reserve notes are valueless, illegal, and unlawful. So how is it that they circulating around in currency and we spending them because you the people don't know? This is why they was buying getting all the gold because the gold was backing the money, but the gold has never been backed by the money since 1933, since the Federal Reserve was created. The Federal Reserve is a foreign, private owned central bank that has no American guidelines. None of this here that they have to back. I have all these out of year records of this. I went through major things behind all this. But anyway, um, if it's just like when you think you own something, how can you own something that you paid for something that was illegal? This is how they confiscate the drug dealers' cars and houses because they say they've been paid for it with illegal money. So now, if the Federal Reserve notes are valueless and illegal, everything that you own, that you thought you owned, you don't own it because the money that you paid for it with was illegal from the start. So now it makes sense to you how the IRS can come in. How they go and take people's shit. When people are paid up on their property taxes or their house tax, whatever the case may be, they got their paperwork and everything. The IRS telling them they owe 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 more $1,000, but they don't owe shit. This is how the IRS coming to take because they know that you paid for it with something that was illegal because it's their law that they wrote for you, the people, to know, but you don't read and research, so you don't know. So it's not their job to tell you to free. It's not their job to free their slaves. It's the slaves' job to free themselves. So, like I said, it wasn't gonna be long because I want you to join come to Dukes Law University. I'm gonna teach you all this right here. So I just want to give you a quick rundown on it. We're gonna go to Article 10 of the United States Constitution. Yeah, just be cool with me. Hold up. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. This here is Article 10. It's Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1. That states no state shall emit bills of credit or make anything but gold and silver coins a tender in payment of debts. So that means when you see a person that has $1,000 in their pocket and they got all $100 bills and you got 75 cents in their pocket, you got more money than they got because what they got is fake, illegal, fiction money written in the IRS code, written in the United States Constitution. This is written. I had check stubs when I was working where I didn't pay for 7 months, almost a year. The whole time I was there working at this job. I have check stubs to where that I posted one time. I had to go back and find them and post them again. But I have check stubs to show that state tax or federal tax, I didn't pay. Why? Because I knew how, when I applied for my job, I already knew this here. So I applied for that stuff. So that they couldn't charge me no state tax, no federal tax. Because it's a certain way that you got to do it. This is why I'm telling you, you got to come to Dukes and Newton Law University to learn how to do it there. This is what I teach. This is what we teach at Dukes and Newton Law University. But yes, to where it shows you to where there is no tax. But if you fill your W-4 out when you go and apply and they give you a W-2 and a W-4, no, you don't fill that out. That's not what you fill out. And you still can get taxes back at the end of the year off of everything that you spend. Everything that you spend, no matter what it is, cigarette, cigar, anything that you spend. If you spend some on weed money, keep a receipt to it. Because the IRS, listen to what I'm telling you, the IRS take all that as tax. You can pay your taxes on it and get money back from this right here. All right. We're going to, like I said, Article 10. And I just read it. I'm going to read it again. And I'm going to go on and I'm going to go a little deeper with y'all with it. Okay. Where we at, man? Where we at? Yeah. It say Congress shall have the power to coin money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin, and fix the standard weights of measures. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 5. Now, Congress cannot have any power because Congress sits inside of the same place of foreign territory, which is Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is not a state, it's a territory, which makes it will make it have no power, authority, or jurisdiction over the 50 American states or the people of the 50 American states. This is why you see all establishments eventually establish their headquarters in Washington, D.C. in a territory, because they have no laws that they have to abide by. They make up their laws as they go by, how they want it to go, however they want it to go, but they are foreign territory enforcing foreign laws upon American people that they have no power, authority, and jurisdiction to do so. Make sure you start attending Dukes and Newton Law University, and I'll teach you more about this right here. This is what we do. This is how we educate the people and get the people back right. The only way for us to free ourselves is become independent and have our own resources. If we don't have our own resources, then we can never be an independent nation. I'm your host, Rico Dukes, and the Chief Attorney and Officer of Dayfield Truth Federal Government of America, and the Professor and Attorney of Dukes and Newton Law University. The CEO of Dayfield Truth TV. Peace.
They Fear Truth TV.
Leave me alone, ain't about no trouble, but I could be. I'm just trying to.
The truth is out there, but they don't want you to know. Learn why on the Rico Dukes They Fear Truth show as he explores civil rights laws, constitutional provisions, political news, and more. Finding solutions starts with knowing the truth, the real truth. Uncover the truth for yourself on the Rico Dukes They Fear Truth show. That's the Rico Dukes They Fear Truth show. Available on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you listen to podcasts. Open your ears, open your eyes. It's time to learn what's really happening on the Rico Dukes They Fear Truth show.
There'll be no skullduggery, no flim-flam, no compromise, no sellout, no control show.
They Fear Truth TV.
Leave me alone, ain't about no trouble, but I could be. I'm just trying to.
They Fear Truth TV.